At the last meeting that I was at before this honorable board, but it was at a school, you held up to the media material, and by doing that and making the statement that you mean what's in here, that there was something negative about Mr. Morse that you had made available to you by way of maybe a criminal activity or inappropriate activity in the past. And I would suggest to you that that was not only inappropriate, but it showed that you had effectively prejudged this circumstance before hearing all of the evidence. And in doing that, and what you did to make it public and to the media as the good chairwoman was closing the meeting down, I suggest to you was inappropriate and probably malicious. And I would ask you to recuse yourself from the deliberations here. I'll now move
can I respond to that?
Well,
there are probably other people on this board you probably should ask to recuse themselves.
Whether a person votes for George or does not, if they do it appropriately and act appropriately, I'd be the last one to be critical of it. Your conduct was less than appropriate, Mr. Murphy, and it would only take a fool not to have recognized it. Moving to 2, 3, and 4.
I'm not going to sit here and listen to a charge being thrown out at me. I'm not on trial here. I haven't been accused of anything. You haven't summoned me to be here, and I, quite frankly, take offense to you saying that.
Well, thank you. As I indicated, I'm most respectfully making that request. You can certainly say you're not going to do that. And,
no, the answer is absolutely
that answers the question. Going to the other matters, there was a matter in Rhode Island. It turns out that was expunged by the court. In other words, the court in Rhode Island of number 5 on your list in Rhode Island, and I have all the documentation here for you to give you as a package. They expunged that because there was no basis whatsoever for such a charge.
Excuse me. You are taking issue with the information that was provided to us. We're here to determine whether or not we are going to reappoint Mr. Morse to the position of constable. We're not here to really characterize the information or to deliberate on it or to actually defend it, if you will. The information was provided to us by the police department. If there are issues with that, I think we should stop this discussion right now.
I agree.
And just conclude this discussion and reschedule it and take it up at another time so that we have an appropriate counsel here that can advise us as you make your comments about the information.
Well, Madam Chairlady,
yes.
What I have just said, I said at your last meeting, and that was the whole purpose of the continuance to this meeting. And what you were provided was information that candidly on 5, 6, 7, and 8 was not correct with the written record, not the spoken record, the written record.
You say not correct?
Absolutely, 100%
How do you mean? I don't understand what you mean.
Number 5 indicates, and I really don't want to publicly, you have number 5 before you, and I can produce the certified copies of the record that both those matters were dismissed and expunged, that they were when he was a constable in Fall River and was on a repo of a car that he had to cross into Rhode Island to repo. And the question arose from the person whose property was being repoed as to whether he had authority. The court dismissed the charges against him and expunged the record. That means it's as if nothing at all happened. And you have your investigator saying that something happened.
All right, excuse me, right now, I think you're taking issue with the information we have. Therefore, I don't see how we can possibly vote on this appointment tonight. So I am going to ask for a motion to adjourn now so that we can, excuse me, just a minute, so that we can get proper counsel as to how we should respond to the information we have and the statements you have made.
And I'd make that a motion.
And is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
All right, I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor?
Madam Chair,
Comment?
I'd like an opportunity to say something, if I may.